This video will show you how to access the arrears history for a specific tenant, landlord, or property, how to send an ad hoc message, or print the arrears history for your court documents. To access the arrears history for a tenant, landlord, or a property, you can click on the name or property address in the To Do tab, as well as the Sent tab. However, the best way to access the arrears history is to open the Arrears Sent tab and search for the tenant or property with the search boxes. Click on the tenant name to open the arrears history for the specific tenant. Click on the landlord name to open the arrears history for that specific landlord. And click on the property address to access the arrears history for the property, which will display all arrears messages sent to all tenants and all landlords for that selected property. The tenant's arrears history displays the tenant's name and the property address. Clicking on the tenant's name will open the tenant's details page, and clicking on the property address will open the property's details page. Also displayed is the tenant's arrears classification, the start date for arrears messages, the type of active notice, if any, and will display the issue date for the notice along with the notice expiry date. Also displayed is the days owed, number of consecutive days in arrears, and the dollar amount in arrears. The table below shows all actions and messages sent, who the action or message was sent to, the details of the arrears at the time the action or message was sent, and the phone number for the phone actions, and the email address for where the emails were sent. You can also see when the arrears action was processed and any notes added. Clicking on the message title or action icon will display the arrears pop-up window with a preview of what was sent. You can also process an arrears action in the same pop-up window as you would in the To Do tab. At the top of the page are several buttons. Defer will defer all arrears actions for this tenant. You will need to select a Defer To date, select the messages to defer. You can also create a payment plan as well. Remember, you will need to add a note and click the Add button to process the arrears actions in the pop-up window. Mouse over Ad Hoc at the top of the page to send a message to the tenant by email, SMS, phone call, letter, posted letter, or hand-delivered letter. Clicking on each will open a pop-up window where you can add your message and send to the tenant. The advantage of sending messages this way is that all messages will be added to the arrears history in our property. To print an arrears history report for court, mouse over the printer icon at the top right corner and select the option as needed. More on this option later in this video. Clicking the landlord's name will open the landlord's arrears history, displaying all arrears messages sent to the landlord. The messages and details are displayed in the same format as the tenant arrears history. Clicking on the landlord's name at the top of the page will open the landlord's details page, and clicking on the property address will open the property's details page. You can also send an ad hoc message to the landlord and print the landlord's arrears history report as needed with the printer icon at the top right of the page. Clicking on the property address will open the arrears history for the property, which displays all messages sent to all tenants and landlords. The information is displayed in the same format as the tenant and landlord's arrears history page. Clicking on the property address link will open the property details page. Click on Defer to defer the arrears actions or create a payment plan for the property. Complete the details in the pop-up window. To create and print a full arrears history report for the property, mouse over the printer icon from the top right corner and select the option as required. With Notes, we'll create a report with all arrears letters, emails, SMS messages, and notices sent to the tenant. This report will also include dated notes for each action if notes have been added. With notes and landlord messages, we'll create the same report as the option with notes, but we'll also include all landlord messages as well. Without notes or landlord messages, we'll create the arrears report with only the letters, emails, SMS messages, and notices sent to the tenant. Reverse order with notes, we'll create the report displaying the oldest arrears messages first. Date range will open a pop-up window where you can select the specific date range for the arrears report. And notices only will generate the arrears report with only the notices sent to the tenant, leaving out letters, emails, and SMS messages. You should now have a better understanding of the arrears history, how to find the arrears history for a specific tenant, landlord, or property, and how to print the full arrears history for your court documents. Watch the other videos in this series to learn more about our property's arrears module.